On this episode of Auction Walk, Mike and I are at the 2023 Mecum auction in Kissimmee, Florida. We will check out some cool cars and trucks, guess the hammer price, and see how we did at the end. Welcome to Auction Walk. I'm Tony. This is Mike.
I'm Mike.
We started this because we love to go to car auction, and so we're bringing you guys along. We'd like to have you guys guess, and at the end,
that's right. We'll do the reveal. So we came across a 1968 black Charger. It was a big block, and
it looked good.
Oh, it was awesome.
All right, check it out.
So we're looking at a 1968 Dodge Charger. I believe this is Is this an RT? No, it is not.
This is L211 on the auction.
L211.
Let's just read the tag. 440 Magnum. Edelbrock high-rise polish intake, MSD ignition, headers, has a pulley system, aluminum radiator, vintage air, 4-speed manual. That's cool.
That is nice.
Hurst shifter, four-wheel disc brakes.
Yep, it's got Caltrac traction bars. They're going to be pretty low.
Master cylinder, power windows and locks, power steering.
So this is the epitome of every under 20-year-old car movie, kid's dream. This is Dom Toretto's car, right, from the Fast and Furious. You'll see here, it is a pistol grip 4-speed console-less car. It actually looks pretty darn nice in here.
Yeah.
Are
these original-looking seats here?
Those are definitely. Yep, they're just covered. These were offered with this kind of.
Obviously they put a armrest in here.
Yes, it's an aftermarket console, and it's not a full console. It doesn't go all the way to the front. See,
yeah,
this was an after the fact, and the hump, the transmission hump, you see the transmission hump?
Yeah.
This has been modified. That shifter is too far left, so this was definitely an aftermarket deal that they did when they turned this into a 4-speed, or maybe, did a different transmission. So they modified the hump. You can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Okay, what would you rate the interior?
All right, I'm going to take a look over here on the other side.
I'm not a big fan of this.
No, you're absolutely right with that, Tony. I'd rather have the authentic
the steering wheels. I mean, it's pretty. I would like to see it more classic. But
I mean, honestly,
interior-wise, I would give it a 6.
I mean, I'm going to say it's a 7. I'm going to tell you why. The steering wheel is clearly aftermarket.
Yes. The center's after.
The center market. Yes. The center was kind of like hey, let's get something that fits here. Hey, that looks okay. But if I were to do this, I would have a real console put in. The hump has been modified. The transmission hump has been modified, and the shifter's too far leftward. Stuff like that you can point out pretty quickly. Does it look bad to the untrained eye? No. It looks fine. I would do it differently. The seats actually look recently covered, probably in the last 4 or 5 years. 5 years maybe. They're aftermarket, but they're not 50 years old. The frames, they tried repainting it with some Rust-Oleum here.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. How are the springs, right? Are the seats still buoyant? Right. I would say the interior. I'm going to change that. I'm going to say the interior is a 6.
Okay. Now paint is really hard to tell.
It is. It's black.
It's dirty.
It's black and it's
dusty,
dirty.
and looks like it has pollen all over it.
So one thing that I'm going to notice, the sun is at my back. So this is a good opportunity to look down the side like this.
I see some swirls.
I'm looking for waves first because I want body prep. I can tell you there's very few waves, but I'm going to show you right here, Tony. If you look here, you'll see some sanding marks at a diagonal. It goes like this. I don't know if you can see that. And it's also causing a slight dulling in the paint. It's usually indicative of that some filler was used. It wasn't sanded, block sanded. It was probably machine sanded. Stuff like that is pretty common. It doesn't mean that they didn't still spend 10 grand on the paint job. There's a lot of that on this.
Unfortunately, we can't see the engine.
So there's just there's areas where they use the machine to sand. They probably could have.
What do you think about the wheels? I'm not a fan of them.
So this is kind of the torque thrust look, right?
Yeah.
And in 1999, this would have been like, wow, right? But it's been done so many times, I would have done something a little more creative. They're also, I think they're 15.
The stance of it looks really good, I think.
I do too. I like that the wheel well goes right over the tops of the tires. It's not tucked.
Yep.
And it's probably lowered 2 inches over stock. I can see, plenty of edge wear where people have leaned on, and look at me, I'm touching it. But
okay, so paint
I'm going to say the paint is a 7.
Okay. Yeah, it's really hard to tell. It is so filthy dirty.
It is.
If you were going to bid on this, I would definitely do a last-second look at it when they clean it off.
The underside is pretty damn clean. I mean, it looks like it's just been repainted, cleaned. Yeah. It's got new bushings.
Okay, what do you think about a price?
I'm going to say that this is going tomorrow. I'm going to say that this is going to be $70,000 with a big block.
I'm going to go, I think it's going to have a good look on the block.
It definitely will.
I'm going to go 82.
Okay. It's L211.
We were walking along and saw this beautiful 1965 Cobra. I guess you call it a replica.
It was, I think it's a replica.
I mean, it's not an original, but
right.
Check it out. It has a great engine.
Beautiful car.
S41, 1965 Shelby Cobra replica with a 427. That's the engine to have. And these, in my opinion, side oiler V8, 4 Webers, NASCAR style closed ratio Ford top loader gearbox.
Yeah, top loader transmission.
McLeod clutch, Jaguar disc rear end. All sorts of stuff. Aluminum radiator. I mean, jet black clear coat.
This is not like the Fast 5 kit car. This is like a level or 2 up from.
This is nice.
You still have this is a different suspension setup, nevertheless. So we have one inverted, with the real Shelbys, you're going to have one inverted leaf spring in the front, and this is independent front suspension. Okay, so that's the difference. We have coil, independent front suspension. You have rack and pinion steering on this. So it is essentially manual steering, but the car is only a couple thousand pounds, all right, with you in it. This motor is a high point of this car. This is exactly the motor you'd want on this. I'm looking at the paint on this thing.
What do you think about the paint? I think the paint is very good.
It's impeccable. I've already picked this thing apart. It is, look at the dark color. Do you see any swirls? Do you see any
all I see is your reflection.
It's my reflection. And it's like, it
that
looks
could
like
be a negative.
Oh, don't touch it. It's wet paint, right? It looks like, yeah, exactly. For me, it's awesome. The rivets are all perfectly measured, in line, spaced apart.
So I would give this.
It's been done methodically.
A 9 or a 10.
This is a 10 for paint, in my opinion.
Until you really pick at it, you can't give it a 10.
Well, we can't. Okay, so we can't because it's dusty, and I would have to see this thing freshly buffed under incandescent lights. But okay, I stand correct. This is a 9, but I don't see any sander marks. There's no machine sander marks, no matter if I look towards the light or with the light behind me. Everything's been really tastefully done. Somebody effectively did replicate the Shelby. This is you've got some kind of like some bluing here of the chrome. So somebody's put some miles on this thing. You can see some rust inside. Of course, if this thing gets wet,
the odometer only says 171 miles.
171. These are new gauges.
In the interior
there's not a lot of interior in these cars though either.
No, but it's pretty nice.
2 seats and a dash pad.
Now, one comment, and this is how I judge these.
Okay.
Is how I fit in them.
Okay, how are your feet doing down there?
It's, you better not. You almost. It's pretty bad.
Can you feel if you're on the clutch or the brake, right?
No, the clutch is fine. It's between the gas and brake.
Okay, all right. I mean, I don't know. There's not really much to complain about with this. The chrome is in awesome condition. The glass is brand new.
Now I got to peel myself out of here.
It's got the motor we would want in it.
hit the clutch and gas, right?
Yes.
Tony, if you were any bigger, we'd have to get you help to get you out of that thing.
I like ones that are have a little more room in them. So let's conclude this real quick.
It makes sense that you would love this car if you love the Viper, all right,
Yes.
first and second gen Vipers. They were patterned after this car. They were inspired.
Now, so my negative on it is it's tight fitting, and I know they make ones that have a little bit more room in it. If I'm going to buy a replica,
Down in the
I
footwell.
want one with more room.
Okay.
But this has all the stuff I want on it, and I think it's going to go for $85,000.
85. I think this is
I could be low on that.
I think this is a $105,000 car.
All right, we'll see what it does.
And then we came upon a 1996 SVT Cobra.
Looks good, red.
Real nice.
All right,
Just
check it
made
out.
a few years. This is a G42, 1996. This is the 305 horsepower dual overhead cam motor. It's only got 17,000 miles.
That's pretty good.
That's actually rare for this year.
Yeah. I mean, some people saved them, but
the type of buyer is going to be somebody that's going to use this.
Right.
It's 5-speed manual, 4-wheel disc brake.
it looks pretty stock.
Yeah, but it's it's a Cobra, so it's cool. Mm-hmm. I think they did 0 to 60 in like 5.6 seconds. It's fast for a 94.
Yeah, I had a
96.
GT, a yellow GT back in the day, and I thought that was the fastest thing in the world.
And this thing's got 80 more horsepower.
Right, and it would do great burnouts.
Here's a little fun tidbit. You know they call it a Cobra. Did you know that they styled the whole front end to look like a Cobra face? You stand back here, right here. It's supposed to look like snake eyes. See, like the whole snout is a Cobra with its fangs. That's how that. You see what I'm talking about?
Is this a little different color right here?
So I don't.
The paint or the sun or the...
But you know, a lot of it is it's freaking red, right? So
Right.
red that's exposed to the sun is going to fade.
A little fadey, yeah.
And down here, it's nice and dark. So that's probably typical. Let's see. Let's try to open the hood. There we go. So you're going to see over here something interesting about Cobras. Right here. These are the signatures of the guys that built this motor. This motor is hand-built, but with pride by this guy and that guy. So these two guys hand-built this motor on a stand. So I'm supposed to tell you that they took their time and did all the tolerances correctly.
And you can find them on Facebook later when it doesn't do...
What's that?
You can find them on Facebook later when you're pissed at them.
Exactly. I'm gonna find this guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the concept of the SVT team is a special vehicle team, right? So everything is supposed to be done a little bit better. I would say, Tony. I mean, I'm looking here. The interior in this thing,
It's fantastic.
it is fantastic. And it's a two-tone. I don't think this is just the Cobra. You could get the two-tone. So the upper dash, the main color is actually what would you call this? It's a tan,
Yeah, it has
butterscotchy
the
tan.
Mach stereo system, which
Yeah,
I
this should
had
be a
in
Mach
my
460.
GT.
Yep. So this is a Mach 460, right? Is what they call
Yeah.
this. It should be a subwoofer, and then you got the Bose three-way speakers in the back.
Right.
That's
of course,
cool.
I worked at Best Buy at that time, and I, of course, gutted it immediately.
And put actual stuff in it.
But as far as the interior,
It's great.
this is almost a 10.
Dude, the stitching is perfect, right?
Almost. This is collector quality interior.
It is. Yep. Well, it's got 17,000 miles, so
Right.
you basically probably have a little more wear on that driver's seat and barely any on the seat. You have nothing in the back seat.
Nice. It's very nice.
There's not even a wrinkle in the back.
Yeah. Now there is some wear on the
On the
Where you-
ABS.
where
So
you- yeah.
this is first gen ABS. This
yeah. You
isn't-
know when you have your jewelry right there.
Right.
Okay, paint.
The paint is not so awesome, and that's mostly because I think the color choice of red. Look up here. First off, on the trim, you've got buffer hits where they were buffing it. You've got all that material.
But really, the trim does look overall pretty darn good.
Well, the trim is actually good.
Yes.
The window perimeter trim has some hits. Definitely, you've got some color differential. So the top, look at the top hoods, and then look down low, and it's like a shade different. You've got nicks and scratches right here. That's not road wear. That's clumsy. I think this is the original paint. Should be 0.2, 0.3.
That's not. 0.1.
Yeah, this is a factory paint job. You've got chips, you've got nicks, you've got some scratches. All through here. I mean, honestly, this probably needs a respray. Right?
Oh, I don't think so.
Look at this. All through it. Look at these scratches. This whole quarter is scratched.
Can you get that out?
No. Oh, you can't get that out. You can feel it with your fingernail.
Yep.
That's in there.
That's a bummer.
That's in there.
Because now you're losing.
Right.
You're losing. It's not original now.
Right. Here on this side, it looks perfect. That side's all scratched. That's why I was saying it's too scratched for me. I wouldn't leave that. That's in the.
All right, so let's speed it up here.
Okay.
Let's put a value on it.
I'm gonna say that the paint to me is a 6.5.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was fantastic until you pointed
whole
out.
quarter
And
is
you're
bad.
the paint master.
The whole quarter is scratched. It's like belt buckle scratches too. I
so-
don't know. I'm gonna say it's a Cobra.
Yeah.
The GTs in this year are going for barely into the 5 figures, right?
Barely.
And so the Cobra is going to be 100% markup off of wherever that is, right? So this is a $20,000 car.
Yep. I was thinking 22. So I guess we'll see how we did.
Yeah.
All right. 3 great cars.
3 great cars.
All right. It's time for the score, I guess you want to call
Yep.
it.
Let's talk
How
about the hammer
bad we
price.
did. First up, the 1996 Ford Mustang SVT Cobra.
Special vehicle team. So let's talk about the hammer price. What?
Well, let's remind everyone how bad we guessed.
All right.
So, a little clue. Okay, so Mike, you guessed $20,000.
Yep.
My guess was $22,000. We both kind of liked it, I think.
Yeah, sure. It was a great car.
I guess the bidders, unless we're just way off, let us know in the comments. But the high bid, it sold for $13,000.
$13,000
Plus some fees.
Okay.
But $13,000.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
I got to be
think
honest.
so, too.
I'm not entirely sure what went wrong, or maybe we're just crazy.
But I remember it had some paint problems, I
It
believe.
did. There was some paint.
Yeah,
problems.
so
there was some paint flaking off on the passenger side.
It was a low mile car, and with a little paint job maybe potentially needed.
It's really the SN95s are really pretty soft
Yeah.
models.
Yeah, now's the time to buy them, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to stay down forever. What do you get for $13,000 nowadays? I mean, a couple
An
of
SVT
wheels.
Cobra.
Right. Evidently.
All right. The next one was the 1965 Cobra.
I remember
That was a
car.
nice car.
Oh my
To
gosh.
me, this has the right engine. This
Right.
would be the one I would like to buy, except I would like a little bit more room in it.
But this was a big block.
yeah.
I mean, it's a big
Yep.
block.
So let's remind
replica.
everybody. Okay, my guess was 85,000. Your guess was 105,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it did not sell, but the high bid was only $60,000. So
It seems ridiculous to me. I mean,
Yeah.
we've watched these cars go through for
Yeah.
years in the range that we're
right,
talking
I
about.
mean, we might have missed something. There are, clearly, the owner thought it was worth more than that also.
Sure.
So, I have a feeling that we were high. There's somewhere in the middle there.
I think there's some compounding issues. We might have been high, but I don't
Yeah.
think we were organically
Hopefully-
going to be off.
Yeah, hopefully
30 and
you,
40,000
hopefully you guys did
dollars.
better on your guess than you did. It's horrible. Okay. And then finally, that beautiful black 1968 Charger.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, and your guess was $70,000, and I thought that was low.
Yeah.
And I told you that.
It's another big block car. Was
Yeah.
that a 383 or 440 in that car? They're big. It was a big block Charger.
Yeah,
These
and-
fetch pretty good money.
My guess was $82,000. Remember, on this car, we did not get the hood open because
That's
it
right.
had those locks on
It
it,
did,
and
yep.
so
Yeah, it had locked.
that really killed our estimate. But get this, it sold for $100,000. So clearly,
right.
the hood, something under the hood was probably better than
Right. I
we
think
knew
we
of.
were erring on the side of caution, Tony, because we couldn't tell
Right.
what was going on, why
Yeah.
the hood was locked.
And I mean, a 68 Charger with a 383
Right.
should have been 95. We were just way off, I think.
Yeah, 100 grand is not outside the realm of normal.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys did better than us on this one. But don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hit that like button.
All right. Thank you. Bye.